noticed, but it's winter time in Pennsylvania, and work has slowed down a bit, which means I will be working more on my projects. But today I'm going to take you on a tour of kind of my setup. I don't really know what you'd call it, because my garage is basically just storage for my cars in the winter, but I have very limited space to move around, so I'll probably be working more on the Model A because I can actually move around it. But you know, if it comes down to wiring the 48, whenever that comes, I'll pull the 58 out. I don't care. I'll just to make room. I'll leave it outside for a day just to make room for the 48. But when that time comes, you know, who knows. But for today, I'm just gonna kind of walk you through my setup because I'm bored and I'm off work today and the kids are at school, so I have to go out here anyway to put my battery on a trickle charger for the 58. So, you know, while I'm out here, I figure I'll show you around and show you what I mean about limited space. All right, so I guess I'll get into a little bit of detail about every single project I have going on. Well, you guys saw me build this, you know, carport last year in the middle of winter, and this was why I did it. This is exactly why, was so that I had a spot to basically store this, not necessarily work on it, but just store it, because I don't want it out in the weather, especially with that brand new engine in it, which I'll put up at the top left corner that you've all seen. But a Honda going up the street. All right, so not hating, don't worry guys. You know, brand new transmission and engine. This is my 1930 Model A. I'm speaking for those of you that don't watch my videos regularly. So I picked this car up about 11 months ago, and it was pretty rough. You know, not saying it's beautiful now or anything, but it was pretty rough, and I'll show you. You know, I'll put a picture up there. But I had to, you know, I forget exactly, 22 inches or something out of this frame, move everything back. I put the motor mounts in and all that, and yeah, this is like a complete and total custom job. And when I bought the car, the reason I had to cut the frame was because the car was actually a 4-door, and it's registered as a Tudor, you know, Tudor, but it's really not. It was a 4-door that was cut down to a 2-door, which is why, you know, these doors open suicide, you know, because these are the back doors. This is the back door, and it was just, you know, cut down, and, you know, so it's weird. There's a lot of chop going on. Some gaps, you know, as you can see. I have some work to do on it. I have to mess with the firewall because it's real close to hitting the distributor, and that can't be like that. I don't like that. So I'll probably use like a coffee can or something like that and cut out some of the firewall. Whatever, man. I don't know. But I'm going to be working on this probably the most, because as you can see, there's a little bit of walking room, you know, in and around here, and there is not anywhere else in my garage. So and I bought a new radiator for this with an electric fan. So this radiator is just for mock-up, but it's a Ford radiator. I bought a Chevy radiator, like it's made for a small block Chevy is what I'm saying, but it's for this grill shell. It's for a Model A Ford. So thank God for eBay, because I feel like I should just run electric fans. But there's so many other things to do to this, but you know, just filling you guys in on kind of what's already been done. There was a lot done. I had to fabricate some things. You know, I had to build these, you know, pieces here so I could get the pinion angle correct. You know, we have this stabilizer bar for the transmission to rest on. You know, you can go back and watch all these videos of me doing all this. You know, I sanded down the frame and, you know, took care of that problem. I boxed in the front part of the frame, you know, so that it was sturdier for the engine, more structurally sound. I basically rust encapsulated everything that I could that was getting rough or rusty, and tried to bring it back to life. But let's go into the garage and let's see what else we have going on. All right, so as you can see, this is where I keep these babies. 58 Bel Air, we'll start with her. I joke around and call it Dreamboat. I really don't have a name for it or anything, but it's just funny calling her Dreamboat when my mom asks what I'm doing, or I say, yeah, I'm out taking a ride in Dreamboat. She hates it so bad, but because I sometimes keep it in her garage so I have room in here to work. So yeah, she has pretty good reason to not like it, but you know, you have to be polite. If you're mean to the car, then she won't want to run right, so you have to always be polite to her. And look how beautiful she is. I mean, how could you ever be mean to her anyway? But yeah, this is my favorite car. I didn't put an engine in this or do any crazy fabrication, but I did you know, rebuild the top end of this and dressed it up a little bit, put disc brakes on it. Oh, it's fully charged there. That's good. So now I can put the trickle charger on it because it's winter time. And actually that's the whole reason I came out here, was to put that on the trickle charger. And I decided to do this tour because, you know, people get confused with the different projects I have going on, and I get it because there's a lot of them. And, you know, this is pretty much the only one that's semi-finished. Like, you know, new radiator, new water pump, new starter, you know, carburetor manifold, valve covers, brake booster, dual master cylinder, disc brakes. I redid the trunk. You know, it wasn't rusted out, but it had surface rust, and so I fixed that, and just a few other small things. But you know, the interior of this car, turning that flashlight back on, but the interior of this car is in pretty nice condition. It's really tight in here, guys, so, you know, bear with me on trying to reach my hand in here and get quality video here. But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I love this car. It's I'm just gonna keep it the way it is because she's perfect, and I don't really want to mess with that. The only other thing I'm gonna do to this car when I have some extra money, which a lot of you might like these wheels, but I'm more of a traditional guy. These are 18-inch wheels that I threw on to clear the disc brake conversion, because the disc brake conversion, you know, the calipers didn't clear the 14s, which, you know, I kind of figured that, but I took a chance anyway, because sometimes they do. They did on the gasser over there, which I'll show you in a minute, but I figured I'd try, and they didn't, so I had to go with bigger wheels, and these were extremely cheap. So when I go to resell them, I'll make probably double what I bought them for anyway, and then I'll just buy some 15s. But all right, we'll go over to, if I can squeeze through here. All right, so this is my baby. I built this car. I have all the videos, the whole series on this channel. If you are extremely bored and have, you know, a lot of time and you need something to put you to sleep, check out my series on it, because it shows every part of this thing. I bought this about a year and a half ago. I didn't want to build a gasser. I wanted to lower it and build a lowrider, and you know, that was my goal. But I ended up, you know, getting really into gassers, and I really love history, and I love vintage, you know, drag racing. I think it's so cool. I mean, it's what started it all, you know. Just racing in a straight line. I love it. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I love circle track racing, and I love, like, even back in the 20s when they had board track racing, and, you know, I'm into all that, and I love all the cars. But this you know, it has a 350, same as the Model A out there. You know, it has a 350, which I like having that window there, because I might even, if I ever end up finishing the building, I might just take that out and build like a bar that goes across there and cut out a big hole there. But anyway, so this engine is built by a good friend of mine. Same with that engine that's in the Model A. They're both small block 350s. This has, you know, the 58 has a small block 283 in it, but they're all easy to work on. I know Chevy. I don't know anything about flatheads. I would love to get a flathead for the Model A, because it's just what it should be in there. But like, if anything breaks on this, I know I can fix it. And yeah, I have a new radiator for this as well, and a transmission, intercooler, and I kind of went all out on this engine. I spent a lot of money on it, and this is their first time, even in the series. You know, no one's seen these velocity stacks yet, but just those filters were $100. So, like, not the velocity stacks, but the filters, you know, each. So that was pretty annoying. But I finally got, like, kind of like a rough looking hood ornament finally. But I've been wanting to get one forever, and they're like $300 if you get a really nice one. So I just got this one for, I believe it was like $100. And, you know, it needs it, because it makes the car look so much better. But, you know, whatever, man. There's small little details matter, and I don't care. I'll get all my money back out of this if I ever want to, but I don't want to. I'll probably never sell this, because it's the first car I ever built. You know, the rockers were gone, the floor was gone, everything was gone in this car, and it was a learning experience. It's what, you know, taught me how to weld. And I took my first shot at welding due to that car, and I just went away with it, man, and welded the whole car together. And, you know, it's been a great ride. But yeah, so I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot of work. The 48 needs wired. The 58, it needs new rear air shocks, which, if you can see that box in there, that's what they are. I have all the parts to do all this stuff. I have all the parts to finish the Model A out there. I just need to come out here and do it, man. And it's cold. You know, it's 30 degrees outside right now. All right, so some future plans, I guess. You know, I guess I'll take you out to see the other project. It's not in a garage, but all right, so this is a really windy one. Sorry about that, but this is the 1952 Ford that I just picked up for the wife, and it's covered in snow, and that's killing me, because I don't want it to be covered in snow. I don't want it sitting outside in the weather. It's solid. There's no rust on it. So that's one good thing. It can handle sitting out for a little while, but I don't want it to be out long. I have a lot to do on this, but and I want to finish the camper and sell it so I can buy a Cadillac. But yeah, this is the future here. Future projects in there. And basically that's it. I'm gonna put a carport over top of this so I can park 4 cars in here, and that's gonna be a project as well. Alright, so other than this video being kind of useless outside of, giving you a quick tour. That's my setup. That's my collection so far. A lot of unfinished projects, but they're getting really close, some of them, as you saw. So thanks for, walking through with me, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one, hopefully sooner than later.